Buenos dias and welcome to the Automotive Logistics Red Sofa interviews. I'm Richard Logan, Senior Content Producer, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Raul Gamboa, Director of Material and Transport Control at BMW Group Mexico. Raul.
Thank you, Richard.
Raul, you gained responsibility for vehicle logistics just this year in Mexico and has faced incredible congestion at ports, plus rail and carrier shortages. What are some of the most important measures you've taken to address these disruptions and get vehicles on the move again?
Certainly we have to become very creative. We have implemented a lot of ideas because suddenly we went from roughly 2,000 vehicles inventory up to 15,000. So we really need to react very fast. Some of the ideas we brought basically was to create some space available in our plants in order to be able to handle this amount of vehicles, to be able to control when do we need to ship outside these vehicles, and to keep and maintain the quality of the vehicles as well. Afterwards, we decided to increase the capacity in regards of land transportation. We brought new hauliers, new capacity. We need to create new frame contracts with these suppliers. Being some creative in other aspects, such as bringing, for example, flatbeds that normally, or let's say nowadays, are becoming a normal thing in the highways in Mexico. But I will say that one of the unique ideas that we brought was the containerization of vehicles. For the very first time out of Mexico, we were putting vehicles and sea containers and ship them afterwards into Europe. So there were some of the ideas we started to input this year.
Yeah, well, incredibly challenging time and year to enter the vehicle logistics sector. So, to implement such creativity and flexibility has certainly been impressive and crucial to your success. I'm interested to understand, building on that flexibility, how a flexible approach in vehicle logistics, specifically with network design and the flows, how important has that been and how important will that be moving forward for BMW?
Well, it's very important because in our setup of production, where we basically build to order, meaning every single vehicle comes out of the plant, has already a customer somewhere in the world, we need to be very flexible to make and to honor the commitment that we have to deliver every single vehicle. So one of the tools that we implemented was to create some synergies to what we were doing already in the inbound, which is really fast communication towards the different suppliers and partners in regards to logistics, and communicate this in a transparent way that we can react on time when we have any disruption on the process. Certainly some of the variants that I commented before bring us that flexibility, but nowadays we need to bring the sustainability that we can remain the same concept of operation.
Yeah, excellent. And in your presentation, in the panel discussion, you talked about the importance and investment that BMW is making in terms of digitalization, digital tools and technology. And we understand that BMW has been advancing its control tower view for material control. Do you foresee adding and developing similar features and approaches and technology to manage vehicle logistics too?
Totally. As mentioned in the conference, we are in this initiative since last year on the digital plan, which is basically connecting every single item within the plant into a digital way. Nowadays, and part of the experience that we had already in the inbound operation with artificial intelligence and to be proactive in regards of evolution for digitalization, now we are trying to bring these tools as well in our outbound operations in order to make able to predict when any possible disruption on the whole process may affect the delivery of our finished vehicles. Our head of operations back in Germany is supporting this. Many of this technology is being developed locally by our local employees, and we are very proud of it because we are certainly ready to exchange these lessons learned from our, let's say, a few months ago in order to bring these ideas on the whole network from BMW as well.
Yeah, fascinating. You also have responsibility within your role for across logistics and material control. And at San Luis Potosi, you introduced a second shift this year. How have you had to adapt your logistics processes to accommodate?
That was, I would say, a very challenging time because our associates were not used to work on a two-shift operation. Our service providers as well, they were not able to handle the amount of volume that we were trying to produce in a very short period of time. So once again, we will need to be very flexible to react on time the digitalization tools that we implement, they help us to bring that transparency in order to overcome the necessities for a second shift. But a key factor of it was the communication towards suppliers, service providers, our own staff as well, to really understand what were the needs and how to operate a second shift.
Sounds like a true transformation there. And perhaps one final question. BMW will bring the new class EV production to San Luis Potosi in 2027, I believe. What are you doing to prepare and adjust your logistics and supply chain operations to prepare for this?
Totally. Actually, next year we will do our breakdown of the start of the construction of the battery plant. This battery plant will supply afterwards our vehicle plant for electrical vehicles in 2017. So a lot of changes and adaptation has to be made. We're going to start especially next year. Currently, our engineers, supply chain planners are setting up the premises on how we're going to steer this, because for us it's a little bit game changer, since we are now changing or switching from gasoline diesel engines into complete electrification, and we need to find out exactly what are the premises in order to set up this. No, in some cases we are bringing more hazardous materials, for example, which is on a different way of handling the product, and as well by shipping as vehicle distribution, electrical vehicles has to be treated in a different way. So nowadays we are preparing everything, and we are getting ready to 2027 when we will be launching the first electrical vehicle.
Yeah, excellent. So clearly a lot of transformation taking place now and a lot more to come. Raul, thank you so much for joining and for sharing your insights now. And thank you as well for tuning in and watching. Hasta luego.